Gentlemen, so I want to start with you guys just simply talking about how you started in this business. First of all, introduce yourself, what you do, and I really want to get into how you started in this business because I think it sets the precedence for what you do today.
So my name is Mark Martov. I've been in real estate for about 12 years. So I'm one of the top agents at Corcoran in Brooklyn. Last year, just to give you guys some numbers, we sold over 70 townhouses. I have 4 condo developments, but me and Russell are here to talk to you guys about what all of us actually aspire to be, which is how we reinvest into ourselves. Because, I don't know, like somebody said they want to be a realtor until they're 90. That's not really the plan for us. And the question is always, like, how did you guys start? And by the way, like, I'll just tell you, I was a kid. I grew up by the projects. And when I say projects, I mean like Coney Island projects. So my parents came here with $300 in their pocket also. I knew nobody in real estate. Investing into real estate was a dream. And, you know, a couple of people were up here and they're like, oh, I own these multifamilies and I got these investments and I got all these properties I'm going to leave to my kids. What nobody actually talks about is how the hell did you actually get there? And that's what me and Russell are going to talk about.
My name is Russell Nova. I started in this business, in the financing business. I'm a principal at Cornerstone Capital. We're a debt advisory firm specializing in multifamily, ground-up, industrial, healthcare, all types of assets and all types of financing. And I've been running that business since 2012. And 6 years ago, I decided to say, hold on a second, we're doing all of these amazing things for these operators and brokers. And the investors, and why aren't we doing that, right? So why aren't we buying it? And I'm always thinking to myself, who has the upper advantage? Who sees these deals first? And you come to think of it, it's the brokers. It's you guys. You guys see these deals firsthand, right? Because you're getting the listing, you're going out after these individuals, and you're seeing these deals firsthand. So why aren't you looking at these deals as an opportunity rather than just looking at this as a job, right? You want to get the commission, you want to score, you want to get the next one so you could buy, you know, a fancy car or a fancy house and all of that stuff. But all of that is a liability, right? And I'm not going to get into that. That's a separate note on what is wealth versus, you know, what's a liability. But first and foremost, when you're seeing these type of deals, you got to do things for yourself. So fast forward 6 years, we started to purchase real estate. We own about 2,500 units right now on the multifamily side. We have roughly about 500 student housing deals, and we have about 8 shopping centers as of right now, right? And that's because we're seeing these deals firsthand, and we're saying, hold on a second, why can't we buy it? Right? And we underwrite things. Things do take time. I'm not saying that it does take time, but as Juan said when he was speaking, he was like, hey, you have to build a team. And that's exactly what we've been doing, is that we've been building a team and putting these things together. And by doing that, we're able to go out and create the cash flow, right? And build that momentum for ourselves, for our family, and the generation. There's absolutely no way in hell I'm working until 90 years old, right? Absolutely not. It's just not going to happen because I have the cash flow, and that's where it comes from. So.
No, I got a mic. I'm good to go. You good?
Yeah, that was a lot to take in. All right, so let's get this straightened out, right? So you're an investor, in essence. That's what you guys do.
Yep.
Is it more of a flip investment? What type of investment are we looking at? So
I'll speak for myself. None of my investments are flips. I don't believe in that, right? I believe in the long-term hold play. I believe in the 3 to 5 year hold play. I love cash flow, but with investing, it's not just about money. There's so much more advantageous options that you can have, such as depreciation, right? So there's a lot of things that you know about when you're buying real estate. One of the things that we look for as realtors, right, as all of you guys, is you look for that negative K1 at the end of the year. How much do you not want to pay the IRS, right? That's the one thing that we all look for. We don't want to pay those guys because they have enough money. But at the end of the day, if you don't have other sources of income that can depreciate your assets, then you're going to have to buy. So I like to hold my assets and get as much depreciation as possible, so then I get to sell those, take those, those wins, and moving on to the next.
The recommendation with this particular market now is for there to be a shift in the mindset of individuals to really start taking a look at the deals that come their way first, as opposed to sending those deals to investors? Why not take on those yourself?
Correct.
Correct?
Correct.
All right. Expand on that. Go ahead.
I'm going to take it one step further, right? So I think Russell is like saying some of the things where, yes, we are keeping the properties, but we also got to the place where we can keep the properties. When we originally started, and again, coming from a background of my parents had $300, nobody speaks English, I'm the only one that graduated anything, forget about even like college. The first deals that I did was flips, and that's how I started. And, you know, all of us, once a year, it happens, things fall onto our lap where you're like, oh, hold on a second. I have grandma's house who she wants to list. It's $800,000. This is an investor who needs to renovate it. He's going to flip it and renovate it and make money. Why are you guys giving that deal away to somebody else? And I know the answer, by the way. It's a rhetorical question. You're giving that away because you don't have the capital to do it yourself. Guess what? There's avenues of where you could, one, JV, partner up with somebody. By the way, I started where I came across my first deal. I knew I had something in my hand, and I thought to myself, why am I going to give it to another investor that's just going to pat me on the back and say, oh, thanks. And by the way, I made that mistake so many times throughout the years of a decade of just handing out deals to these guys that all they, and by the way, that's how the business is structured. You just give a deal to a developer, and that's it, and you move on.
Well, let me expand upon that for a second. Let's just say, assuming I'm a novice. I know exactly what you guys do, but I'm a novice. And let's just say that some of the individuals in the crowd with this particular sector happen to be the same. What's the identifying piece? How do these individuals in the crowd identify what type of, when it's an actual investment and when it's not? What are the key factors you look for? And I'm assuming that crowd would like to hear that, yeah? How do you know when you got an investment on your hand?
I mean, the number one answer is comps, right? So if, like, I'm going to use the same example. If you have a house that's you have a listing that's $800,000 and you could see all the renovated houses are going for double that price, okay. That's your number one answer. Then obviously you go down the line of, again, if you're talking about something like a multifamily, right? Some of us come across 3 families, 4 families, 5 families. And again, you're looking for that landlord and you're gonna just give that deal away to somebody. You know how to do
are you not coming across less of those with the inventory issues that we've been coming across?
So I'm actually coming across more of those because a lot of guys have to refinance, right? So I'm seeing guys that took out your interest-only mortgage years ago. They have to refinance. They're going to a bank. They're getting 8%, and they need to get out of the deal.
Got it.
And when there's blood on the streets, somebody's going to make a lot of money.
Somebody's going to eat.
Yep. My question is, why aren't you guys doing the exact same thing? And again, it's a rhetorical question where, like, the first time that I did a deal is I pooled money together in my office where I got 25 grand from one agent, another from another, and then I borrowed all the way up, like I leveraged myself and I took out hard money.
Right.
Which I don't know if anybody ever took out hard money loans. Those are like the worst, but I knew that I could make some profit, and that gave me the option where I can move on to my next deal.
Are you not seeing there be more of a scared temperature when it comes to this type of transactions nowadays with this market currently?
Well, scared money don't make no money.
100%. But are you not seeing that occur more often?
I do see it. I do. You want to speak about that a little bit?
Sure. Well, first to your question, right, when you said where's the value, right? I believe there's value in every single deal. The way that we look at deals and the way that we look at properties is where can I bring the value, right? It's when I'm looking at a large multifamily and the property's beat up, right, and it needs a lot of work, that right there to me is value. Number one, I'm gonna get it at a very, very good price because there's so much dollars that has to go into it. And to me, like Mark just said, comps. I wanna look at rental comps. I wanna see exactly what the rentals are. So the first thing that I look for when I look at shopping centers or student housing is the amount of value that I can put into it. If I can run my numbers and I can see that I'm getting those, if I'm getting that rent bump, plus with market appreciation where we are, right? Even though the market is garbage as of right now in regards to the amount of activity that's happening, the rental market is booming, right? Because the rates are where they are, so people can't afford them to get a mortgage. What are they gonna do? They're gonna rent. So depends on how you pivot in your business. If you're leaning towards the rental market or if you're looking to buy like retail or multifamily, you're gonna be all right. as long as you underwrite your business plan.
I like to poll the audience for a second. Listen, in essence, what we're talking about is, hey, if you're capital stricken, if you're short on capital and you find a property, first, what I'm assuming is you're going to say, hey, call us. Let us help you with this transaction. We'll get you involved in it, right? There's investor-friendly individuals that like to take on the deal with you and help you along the way if it happens to be a capital situation. But maybe, so your rhetorical question leads back to them saying, this is the easier path for me. Let me just make my commission, right? But let's poll the audience for a second. Are you in the crowd? I want to see hands risen, please. Are you in the crowds finding these types of deals currently? And maybe, yeah? Wait, you really are? You're still finding them. So let me ask the young lady in the front here, right? So when you come across those type of transactions, what are you doing? So you're traditionally just selling it off. Well, you just met these two gentlemen that are basically opening up their doors and telling you, hey, give us a call.
By the way, I've been in that exact same situation multiple times. By the way, my biggest issue that happened where the light bulb went off is I gave a developer a deal, a multifamily. It was an eight-unit building in Brooklyn. He made $700,000. I mean, net from closing after paying commissions.
After what though? He made that just selling it?
No. So he bought the property for $2 million, renovated it. After paying me and everything else, he netted $700,000.
How fast did he turn it around?
About 6 months less. I mean, from closing to closing, 6 months.
You guys mind if I throw my hat in the game with you guys, with the audience members right now?
Sure.
As far as like getting in on this investment, because I'd be interested in taking a look at some of these situations you guys come across. I just candidly don't get enough of that coming across my desk. But if it's absolutely making sense. And I'm assuming you guys would not be opposed to really bringing somebody in who brings the transaction to you to say, hey, we'll partner on this.
Yeah, so by the way, the first time I did this, right, I had an investor that I dealt, and by the way, that guy that I made $700,000, I got zero from him. Like I'm talking about, he didn't even give me the listing afterwards. I got nothing. And by the way, that's the way the business works. I bought the house, I owe you nothing. So I had one investor approach me, and I mean, it was also like at like some network. Actually, he came to an open house for a different property, and he told me, he's like, listen, you bring me anything, I'll put you in. Nobody's ever actually said that to me. And a light bulb went off, and I'm like, okay, I'll bring you something. I brought him something. He actually put me in. I got a small piece. But what I learned, first of all, I made some extra money, which was beyond the commission. And then I learned so much. Like this guy knew contracting and Department of Buildings and permits, which not, which by the way, as realtors, we know like the basics. But, you know, when I actually was on a project, I thought, you know, I knew about plumbing, roofing, first inspection, a gas inspection, all these other things. Anyway, I learned a lot. The main thing that I'm trying to say that I think everyone wants to hear is I made a fuckload more money. So what I'm offering to you guys, and Russell as well, is you guys come across these deals, we'll put you on, you'll make extra money, and the learning that's gonna happen. And then, you know, maybe in a year, you guys will be sitting on the stage.
I have a quick question. Is there anyone in the audience that feels like they would have trouble identifying this type of investment-friendly transaction? Show of hands. Come on. Don't be shy. If you feel like you don't know exactly what that looks like, show of hands. Okay, we got a few in the crowd. Here's my recommendation, and I'm going to go on I'm going to assume this from Mark and Russell. You'd be more than happy to actually kind of show them the path as to how to be able to identify that type of property, right? Guys, Russell and Mark are here. Whoever raised their hands, they're willing to have a conversation with you guys to basically give you a crash course on how to identify an investment-friendly opportunity. Is that cool or what?
Listen, guys, and by the way, for staying late and being a part of this to the very end, think about this. Not only do you have an opportunity to learn from two of the best on how to identify this property, but they're telling you right here on the stage, recorded to be shown on video later, that they will put you in the deal if you bring them the deal.
They'll make you an equity partner on the deal, in essence, right?
So one of the things I also wanted to, I wanted to let you guys know is that I'm not selling a mentorship program. I'm not selling, there's gonna be no QR codes behind. There's none of that stuff, right? It's just two human beings having a conversation, right? It's kind of saying, hey, listen, this is what I have. What do you think about this? We'll guide you. Like for me, for example, right? This is what I do all day. All I do is deals all day. All I do is I just speak to people all day, and I tell them, listen, this is a good deal, and this is why. Or this is not a good deal, and this is why. The first thing that you need to ask yourself is, why do you think that this is a good deal? What do you want to achieve with this each and individual deal? Your return metrics and your return ideas could be different depending on where you are in your life, right? For example, for me, I want to earn at least 20% return on every investment per year. That's my goal. If I can't get that, I pass the deal and I move on to the next. So each and every one of you, when you guys look at a deal, you have to know what you're willing to get. And that's what we're willing to do, is we're also willing to have those conversations with you. You can follow me on Instagram, which is @RussellNova. It's very easy. I do have a private account, so if you do follow me, I'll accept it. All my followers, I know each and every one of my followers. It's not like an open page where you could just follow and I have no idea who you are. So we can have that conversation. We'll be here for the networking event. If you just want to stop me or you want to chat, I'm more than happy to do so as well.
Dave, anything else?
No, man, I'm just really, first of all, I was quiet the most of the time because I'm impressed with what you guys are saying. And, there's an old saying, I don't know exactly how it goes, but it's something along the lines of, the shoemaker usually has the most messed up shoes, right? And that's typically what happens in the real estate industry, is that realtors, they see these deals and they're so stuck to the traditional way of handling it. Oh, I've got this listing opportunity. I'm putting my sign
And what
out
they do
front.
is they go to their investor
Right,
clients.
and they go look for investor clients
Now,
and bring
listen,
them to the table.
I don't want to take away from what these individuals are saying, because it's only fair that being as local as they are, if you change your habits and you change your mindset, and you should obviously go to two individuals that basically say, guys, bring the deals to us. We'll cut you in on the deal a lot more than what you would if you were to sell traditionally. That makes sense. But I would also have, if it's all right with you guys me saying it, why aren't you having conversations with your investors and asking them, hey guys, I bring you this real estate. Yeah, I get it. But, maybe change the dynamic, change the narrative, right? Just like I said earlier on stage, change the narrative when it comes to dictating where a title order
By the way,
goes.
I'm with Rudy on this. I know that you said that's not how the business works, but if you don't ask, you'll never know.
Yeah.
And so the first 4 or 5 flips that I did was me going to a friend who was a hard money lender, and saying to him, you put the money, I'll do the work, and let's go 50-50 on this. And I got the commission on it, by the way. Yeah. So, and we did that, 4 or 5 times, and I made a shit ton of money doing that, And it's funny, I had another client that I worked with for a very long time that was doing a lot of flips, and he sat down with a mentor of his. And his mentor asked him, he goes, how's that flipping business? And he goes, oh, it's great, man. I'm making a ton of money, hand over fist. And he goes, yeah, but you're rich. You feel rich? He goes, yeah, I feel rich. He goes, but you'll never be wealthy.
Yep.
And he stopped and he goes, what the hell are you talking about? And I go, he said, that's the evolution. Yes, identify these deals, and hopefully one day these guys will encourage you to be people who hold property for longer periods of time. How many units did you say?
So in the multi, we have about 2,500 units right now and counting, where we have 2 more closings at the end of the year. We have about 8 shopping centers right now that we currently own. So
And
New
this is
World
how you-
Title
this is-
can't wait
this-
to get their hands on those
Yeah,
deals,
and
by
this
the way.
is-
it's coming,
this
it's coming.
This is how you start, because a lot of times we come to conferences like this and we hear people step on the stage and say, I have 2,500 plus properties, but no one ever tells you this is how you start. And they're telling you how to start. Identify the deals, bring it to the table, become a part of the deal, open up the conversations. Don't be afraid to have the conversations. Turn into somebody who does it on your own. Turn into somebody who holds your own properties.
You guys Knicks fans? Yeah. Courtside seats on me. My wife's in the front row. Wow. She's hearing it firsthand. I'm taking these guys courtside in the next couple of weeks because I want their business. I want to earn it. And I want to have a conversation with them about actually partnering up on the investment side. Yes? Hey, thumbs up. All right, she gave me the thumbs up. We're good.
And if any of you guys want to talk to us, again, anybody want to talk to us about any kind of investment deals, we'll be here. And again, by the way, guys, I just want to emphasize, the fact that we're here now, we were all at one point, we're sitting over here, and I was just living paycheck to paycheck. I had meetings, I didn't have money for gas in the car, and then somebody put me on, and then, again, the light bulb went off, like, not to be repetitive, but that same example I gave off where I gave an investor a deal, he made $700,000 in 6 months. I sold him an 8-family in Brooklyn. It was $2 million. The guy literally flipped it for $700,000 profit.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, that could have been me. So next time you guys have a deal and you're thinking that could have been me, it could be you.
Yeah.
You have the road, you have the opportunity, and every single time there was a million excuses, and I thought to myself, I remember before I did my first deal, there was a deal that I passed up. There was a house that was about $800,000. All the comps were showing me it was 1.4, and I spoke to a hard money lender, right? I had to get $800,000. I needed about $300,000 in renovations, and I had $100,000. So I passed the deal because I didn't have enough money for the construction. I knew I had enough money for just to buy it, and I didn't know what to do. And then you need a contractor, and you need to pay a contractor. So all these, the reason why I'm mentioning all these questions that you guys have, we've been through all of this already. So anytime you guys want to have a deal and you want to be actually part of the deal instead of just being the realtor that gets the commission and creating wealth and creating this generational wealth, we're here for that.
God bless. Love it.
Just 2 things. One, so 2 things, guys. Thank you for that, Mark. So number one, so full disclosure, my attorney would kill me if I didn't mention that. So every single deal is different. So if we are to speak, it will be individually, right? I have to mention that. Obviously, we're in a different bracket now, so we have to mention that. And number 2 is, guys, and just so you guys know, business is a lot harder now. The first thing is to accept the fact that business is different now. It's a lot harder, right? So if you're accustomed to doing 10 calls a day, understand that you now have to do 100 calls a day to get the same type of results, right? It's a numbers game. You have to do it. It's just where we are in the market right now. Life is a little bit differently. But like I said, there are opportunities out there, and I think that if we can do it, you can do it as well.
All right, man. Let's wrap that up.
Guys, give these guys a round of applause. Thank you very much.
Yeah, man, I'm coming.
All right, guys, we got one.